call the meeting to order, and we will observe our moment of silent reflection, please. Thank you very much. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Down to number 4 on your agenda, I'd call your attention to the meeting minutes. I'd ask you to approve 5-1, 6-5, and 6-12. If there are no additions or corrections, I entertain that motion.
So moved.
Motion by Scott, second by Jack. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Recognition of guests. Tim, are you wishing to address the council tonight?
No,
Okay.
I didn't even sign in, so sorry.
Mr. Gallagher, are you wishing to address the
No,
council
I'm
tonight? Okay. All right, I think we're good. And all right, so I'd entertain a motion that we open public comment and also close public comment.
So moved.
Motion by Thomas, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Zuliani. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, that motion carries. Down to the financial report. But ready or not, here we come.
Yeah.
You gotta be on your toes
I
tonight.
just sitting back there waiting on everyone.
No delay on the TV tonight. I'm right with it.
We turn that on, Andy. There we go. Just push down, that's good.
Oh, never mind. Can you hear me?
No. Can you hear me now?
There, I see a green light.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm going to give you your balances in your enterprise fund for the month of May. Waste collection, money market and checking, $1,933,000. Savings and CDs at $322,000, and you have a letter of credit for $64,000. Water board money market and checking, $1,120,000. Working capital and savings is at $926,000. Sanitary boards at $898,000 for money market and checking, and the working capital and CDs are at $476,000. And then the stormwater fund for May was at $204,000. And you'll remember that council has contributed $100,000 more to stormwater, and Ethan was pretty happy about that. Other things to report. Bills that are in your packet, the ones that I want to point out to you, they're a little different than normal bills. David Howe, our CPA, has started the audit that ends June 30th, 25, so we had to make an initial payment. They're already started working on our books and asking for information. They're going to be here in a couple of weeks to do an inventory. $2,050. Upshur County Sheriff's Department, we did bid on that problem property on Randolph Street, $3,000. We got that at a tax sale, so we'll go through the process and hopefully then get that in our name and that building torn down. $1,200 to Sunset Graphics, reloading the fire chief's truck. $18,000 road fitness, fire equipment, fire fitness equipment. That is part of a grant. Whitmer Public Safety, $1,900 for Bulliard. Lightweight helmets. Rugged Solutions, $6,500 for headset. This is for the fire department for fire truck E11. Conjo Studios, $2,500 film screening mental awareness education. That was for fire department. $4,900 JF Allen for blacktop for the pickleball court at the city park. And $100,000 to Consolidated Public Works for the budget revision that we did the last meeting. That's going towards parks and upgrades in the parks. $2,300 RD Energy Concrete for the Island Avenue project. $2,000 Appalachia equipment for excavator rental. $10,700 to Benjamin Arisman for 5 weeks of mowing city lots. $100,000 to the stormwater fund. And then $5,200 Roselle Enterprises for work completed at the training facility. The other thing I need to report to you, our insurance agent Jamie Powell contacted me about our workers' comp policy. It's ready to renew July 1st. The expiring premium is at $102,985. The new premium is $101,144. Our E-mod went up a little bit from .81 to .87, but the other rates within each of those categories went down. So they were using wages. I expect when we get an audit, they'll use actual wages, and we had some pay increases April, May, June. So we'll probably come back with we'll have to pay something, and then that will adjust all of that.
What?
Yeah, when they increase the way, they don't.
What did the E-mod, did we have injuries or?
That's still a really good E-mod. Yes, we have claims. I mean, we always have claims, but nothing real significant. But we always have claims.
What's that mean, Robbie? Anyone?
A lot of it also has to do with just the overall picture of workers' comp and how they classify codes across the board, not just us on policy from ISO for every insured out there. But Amby's correct. I mean, having a .87 E-mod, I mean, there are some corporations that have 1.25s and 1.5s, and anything below a 1.0 is considered very, very good. And if you're below .90, you're really exceptional. But it can just be across the board industry changes can also affect.
Okay.
Yeah, that compares.
Yeah.
Compare everything.
Thank you.
Also, the bids, we're accepting bids for the excavator for the street department. This was a piece of equipment that was approved in the 25-26 budget. We're going to take bids and see what that turns out to be. We might be able to get that this year, possibly. June 26th is the bid opening for that. Colonial Theater, theater camp is being held at the CAC June 21st this week through the 21st. Camp's hosted by Buckhannon Community Theater. Performances for this camp will be Friday and Saturday. The Lion King is the program that the group will be putting a presentation on for. And the next local music night will be on June the 14th, 7 p.m. Beyond the Barrier. 2 local companies are sponsoring the next 3 shows. So Fly Law and Strategy IT are sponsoring those shows, and we want to thank them for that. The Stockert Youth Center Stockert Youth Center Camp Buccaneer started this week, and that'll run through August 8th. The attendance for the May activities is in your packet. It was 2,824 persons, and of course it may be the same person attending 6 different activities, but those were the attendance total for all of those events. And there was also 3 days of craft show in there that you had to estimate who was walking through the building. And that's it.
What was the department for the excavator?
Pardon?
What department did the?
Street department.
Street department, okay. We don't know yet with Stockert about unique users yet, right?
I think they reported that at the Stockert Youth meeting, I believe.
They had it correct at that point.
I think so, yeah.
I thought there was still double checking it, but,
Well,
okay. Yeah. Thanks, Andy.
All right. Underneath the financial report, I entertain a motion that we approve the bills that Amby went over with us.
So,
Motion by Scott, second by Jack. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Good evening, Ethan. It's your turn.
So the street department was busy last week, most of the week, and early part of this week, assisting with the barbecue bash, setting up the vendors. Had a little bit different layout. I think it cut down on some of the mud. It turned out well, I believe, but guys worked hard on that. We've also been continuing our last round of paving for this fiscal year. I seen East Main Street was completed, Southern Randolph Street, and I believe Railroad. All we have left is Maple, I believe. And then we're continuing to work on some of the Pocahontas Street sidewalks that several of the residents have been participating in. And for the city park, I have in the report that the nets were going to be set back in place. That's going to happen tomorrow. We had a couple of things pop up, but that will be the completion of the city park project. So got them striped and sealed again, and the cord's widened, so it is good to go. Waste, there's nothing new, business as usual. Sewer, we're continuing on our pump station upgrade. And finishing up on the final couple of taps at CMH development along Vicksburg Road. And we also had our biannual plant inspection with the DEP. We haven't received any reports back from that, but it seemed to get well. And water is starting on Mead Street services to swap over. They installed the main line last year, just getting to the services now. They're continuing with the inventory for the new water treatment plant. Some of the grants require a inventory of what all we have already. And had a couple small leaks, and I want to steal Randy's thunder a bit under his report. Like, congratulate Kelly Arnold, he received the Fuller Award. It's essentially the operator of the year in West Virginia, so congratulations to Kelly. And with the zoning, we're working on a few right-of-way encroachments, and again, after looking on those along primarily alleys. For the Tenderton Booster Station under engineering, the final application for payment has been made to Contract A that finishes water and sanitary ARPA projects. The FEMA grant number 1, the final closeout documents have been submitted for FEMA's review. That will finish that grant and project. Continuing to work on design with the DOH for the Morton Avenue Route 20 North sidewalk grant project. And then Jay's been helping with the asset management, which is the inventory for the water plant. And we opened up the commercial real estate bid for the water plant for the appraisal. And it was, we only had a single bid, it was for $8,250, which was, I believe, a pretty good bid for what we were expecting. And we're anticipating that contract will go out July 10th. And that's all I have on the normal report.
Any questions for Ethan?
Could we have the department kind of do what they did for Strawberry and then do a overview of labor
In kind,
and
yeah.
in-kind services for the
Yes,
barbecue
we can.
band, so we have a comparison?
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Did you want me to go through the bid openings, or
We can.
what? That's up to you.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's number 11.
Excuse me, I have to abstain.
Yeah.
Hey, while you're out, go get us some Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Give me your debit card.
Hot fudge for me.
The baby blizzard.
That's a bit blizzard.
All right.
I don't get into the building right
I will, we'll just, well, okay. Well, let's go ahead and approve the building and wiring permits that you were sent earlier today. Is there a motion to that effect? Pam, and is there a second? Second by, we'll give it to Scott. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right.
Rigger would have abstained anyway.
Yeah, we'll just put him down.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So for the first bid opening we did was on-call construction services. This is what we've had for the last 3 or 4 years. The bid, or the contract actually expired a couple years ago. We've just been working job by job basis, but we had 5 contractors bid on this. They were all qualified for what they bid on. Some don't offer the specific services, but of the 5, there was which was Trade Works and Superior Contracting that generally had the lowest bids. This one's got some judgment to it. Trade Works was generally lowest on the labor costs. Superior Contracting Services was generally lower on the equipment costs. So they both were very qualified. I would recommend Trade Works for the reason being labor is the most expensive part of any project. You're going to have more in labor than equipment or materials.
And if need be, we could either figure out a way to supply equipment, we could rent
Yes.
equipment, we could purchase equipment and negotiate rates on our own end, but you're right, labor is that's a hard one to negotiate.
We've done that in the past. We've used or lended equipment for projects if we were short on money, and that was the difference between completing a project or not. So those were the two. They were, like I said, all 5 of the contractors were qualified and seemed capable of the job, but bid-wise, the Trade Works was the lowest on labor, so that's my reasoning for that suggestion.
Okay. Should we take these one by one, and I'd entertain a motion that we approve the apparent low bidder of the on-call skilled construction services and award that to TradeWorks following any sort of review, any further review that needs to take place, because we always say apparent low bidder.
Yes, and I would go ahead and say, starting July 1st,
Okay.
that'll give us time to, I've reviewed it, I haven't seen anything that jumps out, but.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Scott has made that motion. Is there a second? Second by Rob. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, that motion carries. Down to yard reclamation.
Okay, so this one, we only had 2 bids on. One of them was Williams Excavating, who also bid on the on-call services. And the other one was TradeWorks also. And this is another one that Williams Excavating, they came back at $1 a square foot for restoration. TradeWorks was $6.25 a square foot for restoration. I don't know how they're going to be able to do that for $1. I have some concerns with 4 inches of topsoil, seeding line, mulch to get grass to grow back for that price. And they are out of Bealington, TradeWorks is out of Buckhannon, so I think I would recommend TradeWorks for that, even though they are higher due to availability. And I think the quality for $1 would be questionable to resurface those yards.
Well, and as we have seen, we have run into some issues with some reclamating some yards, and when it comes to people's yards, they want it done right. They want it done nicely, and so I think it's worth the
Extra.
you know.
I don't think that it's going to be a whole lot of cost. That bid is probably not going to be used a whole lot. It's going to be a
It's
couple
rare.
times a year,
Yeah.
but whenever it happens, you always hear about it. So
Yeah.
You ought to ask them at some point in time how they can have $1 to $6.25.
yeah, well, I went through and on all these, I tried what would I bid if I was an independent contractor, and I tried to get it down as low as I could, and that seemed pretty low still. Played with numbers for a little while today, couldn't get it figured out, so I would be interested to see that.
Maybe the 7 looked like a 1.
I guess that's not possible, but
I see you lose $1.
Is there a motion to award the yard reclamation services bid to TradeWorks? Motion by Rob, is there a second?
a second.
Second by Scott. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Finally, to paving
I would
services.
still ask the other company.
Yeah, I would think it would call, see, but. Okay, so the final bid opening that we did yesterday was the paving services. Again, we had 2 bids on it. This was JF Allen and West Virginia Paving were 2 bids. It was the base bid was based off of the summation of the wearing per ton, base per ton, and milling per ton. So West Virginia Paving was a low bid based on that with $142 per ton, adding all 3 of those items together. JF Allen had $256 per ton, adding all those items together. And then this one was a bit different because there's a mobilization cost or line item in that bid. So JF Allen was $2,500 for mobilization. JF Allen was JF Allen was $2,500 for mobilization. West Virginia Paving was $13,000 for mobilization. So
Check on how much again?
2,500.
20, okay.
West Virginia Paving was $13,000 for mobilization. So with that, I think you have 2 options of which ones, and that's going to depend on how much paving we believe we're buying this year. Currently, we set aside $200,000 in the general fund budget for paving. So to give you an idea of about how much that does, that we did South Kanawha Street and milled it, Rieger Avenue, Ritchie Street, Upper, Lower, and Rustic Drive for $198,000 this past spring. So that was about 1,546 tons of asphalt. in order to make the mobilization worth it for West Virginia paving, you're going to have to put down 1,520 tons of asphalt to overcome the difference in the low bid for the asphalt, to offset the mobilization. So to get to that number, you would need $204,520 additionally in paving to make it smarter for West Virginia paving. If you're going to stick with the 2,000, it's close, but JFM would be slightly cheaper. So,
That's all dependent upon, you could group jobs together though too and save.
yeah, that would be doing it all in one shot.
Right.
This is one mobilization cost, so if we think we're going to bring over an extra 10,000 for some reason, West Virginia paving is going to be cheaper if we do it all in one shot, which is what we have been doing anyways.
Right.
Have we ever used West Virginia paving in here before?
They said that they had been here, they said 5 or 6 years ago. That would have been before I was around. I don't
recall it. That's why I asked, because, I mean, JF Allen is right here.
Yeah.
That's why, I think this area gravitates toward JF Allen because they're right here.
Yeah. And I mean, I've worked around West Virginia paving too, with the DOH and District 8 where I worked for a brief time. They always did quality work, and JF Allen does too, so I don't think that I'm too concerned about that. The biggest concern that I've had right now is I think JF Allen has all very capable crews, but one crew is tier 1, one crew is tier 2. It seems like we've been getting that tier 2 and some of the product is still fine, but the aesthetics of it, the seams are a little bit curvy, I guess, for lack of a better word. And I know we've had some issues on East Main Street. We got not the wearing layer that we were looking for. I'm concerned about some potholes forming there with the base layer getting water and it freezing and busting. I've just had some concerns with that. But
Have you mentioned that to them?
yes, that was actually last fall, and they went and looked at it. They said that if something happened, they would make it right. So I will say that.
Good. Putting you on the spot, do you have a recommendation? Is your recommendation West Virginia paving at this point?
If we're going to put a halfway significant more amount of money in the next budget year towards paving streets, yes, it would be. If we're going to stick at the 200, then I would recommend JF Allen. So,
Well, I like the fact, I know we can do so many things in-house, but our crews are very, very busy, and we're always kind of gravitate with that. I gravitate to out, contracting out
Yeah.
bigger jobs and the jobs to free up our crews for other projects that need done as well. So I'm always going to kind of push for that.
Yeah.
To use a paving service when possible, when the jobs warrant them, if we recruit the job together, get an outside crew in, who's concentrating on just doing those jobs, that's it, while we're doing other things.
yeah, I agree with that. And paving's kind of a specialized
It is, yeah.
skill and trade, so.
With West Virginia paving, will we get their tier 2 or tier 3 crew?
And
It's
then I don't,
apples and oranges, isn't it?
yeah, I couldn't tell you that either. That's why I've tried to lump these all into.
Are you familiar with some of the jobs that West Virginia Paving's done, but they do a lot with DOH?
Yeah, they do a lot with the DOH over in the Eastern Panhandle and
And
actually
southern
anything
part of
past
the state.
Elkins, southern, yeah.
Basically, it's this pocket. It's
Central.
the southern part of northern West Virginia, or northern part of southern. It's right here is where JF Allen just kind of has the
Yeah.
keys to the kingdom, just because they're headquartered right here in Buckhannon. But yeah, West Virginia paving, I know City of Charleston, City of Huntington,
Yeah.
City of Beckley, all down through there. West Virginia paving is who is used
Yeah.
down there.
I think they're doing Route 20 right now.
Yes, they're doing Route 20. They mentioned that past Lowe's. So.
Next to
Yeah.
A lot of interstate too, so.
Yeah. And then Ethan's correct. Martinsburg back to about Petersburg to Franklin, West Virginia paving is pretty big over there.
But if they're that big, where does that put us if we need something done? I mean,
Very good point.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, are we going to be bottom of the bucket?
And I haven't used them before, so I can't say. I would like to say, yeah, it's gonna be the same service, but I can't guarantee that for sure either.
I know consistently, within the past 4 or 5 years, when just randomly asking, is this company available? West Virginia Paving has always been very, very busy.
Okay, yeah, I don't know, I haven't seen what bids they have this year.
Just with my experience, I'm saying, but I would say JFL is probably in the same boat as well, but
I think about every paving contractor has as much work as they can handle.
But I will say, we have, JF Allen has gotten better for us time-wise over the past 2 years. The three years ago, it really was pretty bad. I mean, we were months, almost an entire season, waiting on them. I mean, remember West Lincoln Street from up in Jack's neighborhood? I mean, in your neighborhood, that project took. The street was completely milled down and very bumpy, and the drains were all exposed for 3 months, waiting on them to do the project. Now, the last 2 years, we've not had that problem.
Been very responsive. Really the quality and responsiveness, I think it's gonna be pretty similar. I think it's gonna depend on what the plans are for paving this year.
And how quickly we get our plans communicated.
Yeah. So,
I think another thing too is liquidated damages.
and that was in this bid.
That we give them,
Yeah.
there's when you say it's going to be done. And
They have that,
That's
once
a
they start
motivation.
milling or timing streets, they got 30 days to finish it. That was written in this bid and there was a bid on
Well,
it.
can we wait to make the decision until after we decide what streets we are going to be doing?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to accept this bid tonight. I can put together a list for next council meeting and see, I mean, the contract wouldn't start till July 1st anyway.
You
So.
just opened it today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to follow up on any references, or is that part of the bid? that they-
Yeah, they've got references. I haven't yet, but I can do that before
Why don't you do that?
I think you should hold off.
previous, or the next meeting in July, so, and get the list together and see what we think we're gonna put towards it, because, like I said, quality and responsiveness, I think is gonna be pretty comparable. If you put another 100,000 into paving though, West Virginia paving would be the way to go. You're gonna say, get more done for the same price. If you stick with 200,000, you're gonna get more done with JF Allen for the same price.
What do we ended up spending this year?
About
198.
That was just in one round. We did some in the fall for about the same, probably close to 4.
Our things looking ampy.
Bleak.
No, but it's always bleak as screw.
No, you're going to come over with for sure your balance on hand and probably a little more.
So we might be able to get a few more things done. Tammy?
Yep.
You should. I couldn't hear your head shaking.
Because I'm not going to commit and, if
It's
something happens, it's going to happen before June 30th, and that's what
Yeah,
fire truck breaks down, you need $100,000.
right.
But yes, I expect you're going to come over with a balance on hand where you can do some adjustments, put a contingency, and then you can decide what to do with it.
We like contingency.
Yeah, we do.
All right, well, let's check references and let's come back and we could make this decision at a.
Yeah, this one doesn't need to be made tonight. We're not gonna do any paving between July 1st and the first meeting in July, so.
Well, the big question, one of the big questions is following up on Scott's concern, and that is, how responsive are they? Where
And I can
would
get
be in the list?
Contact and call and see,
Yeah.
get an idea. I mean, they can say whatever, but.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about the people you talk to that
Yeah.
use them.
The references, yeah. I can do
Right.
that, so.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's all I have.
Any other questions for Ethan? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rolling back up a notch or two, we're headed to Chief Gregory.
Good evening.
Good evening. You had a good time at the barbecue bash, ate some food. That sounds good, Chief. Great report.
The barbecue bash was a successful event this year from a police standpoint. There were 0 issues. Our newest officer, Chris Spotlow, is finishing up his field training. He's been going through that since the beginning of May when he graduated the police academy. Training's been going well, and we do anticipate him to be released to work on his own by the end of June. The final thing on my report, I mentioned this in meetings, in the last couple of meetings, regarding the CALEA assessment of the Buckhannon Police Department. As you recall, this year we had both a Year 4 web assessment in February, as well as an on-site assessment that occurred late March, early April. And we just did receive the report here recently, and by all appearances, it was a very good report. I did include a quote from near the end of the report that I think accurately sums up the findings of the assessor of our operations here at the Buckhannon Police Department. He did say that the Buckhannon Police Department is an agency that has embraced professional best practices as it continues to serve its community in many different ways. The innovative programming, collaborative partnerships, and excellent leadership reflect some of the best outcomes in modern-day professional law enforcement. So this is the report that will go to the CALEA Commission. I think that this is a very good summation of our services, our operations, not only our sworn staff, but also our non-sworn staff with the Buckhannon Police Department. The Year 4 web assessment and the site-based assessment report is also included in your all's packets. And Mayor, that's all I have tonight.
Any questions for Chief Gregory?
Congratulations,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right. Mr. O'Neill has told me he has a report this evening. Good evening, sir.
I was not expecting the chief to be that quick. I just, good evening, members of council. I just wanted to update you on a matter that was before you a couple of meetings ago with West Virginia Wesleyan College and their addiction counseling graduate certificate program. They're getting off the ground this fall, and their request for an allocation from our current opioid funds to fund a scholarship program. They have conveyed, it's not on your agenda for action tonight, so we can't take any action, but I just wanted to kind of update you with respect to the proposal that the Wesleyan has made, go over that with you, and then gauge your feelings, and then place it on the agenda at one of the meetings, in one of the July meetings for formal action. So what Wesleyan is requesting is an allocation of $50,000 for the 2025-2026 academic year. That would fund 10 scholarships, as well as some kind of public communication efforts that go along with that. They would offer scholarships of $4,500 for students that are from Buckhannon and working in Buckhannon in this field, and $3,500 for students who don't live in Buckhannon. They may work in Buckhannon, but they live elsewhere. That would be in addition to a commitment from Community Care for $2,000 per student, and a commitment from Wesleyan to write down the cost of the program 15% for any scholarship recipient student. So Wesleyan is willing to put some skin in the game on this, in addition to just fronting underwriting the program as a whole, Community Care as well, and the city of, that would be the city of Buckhannon's piece. Apparently there was some discussion about trying to get the Upshur County Commission to participate in this as well, but it seems that they may have already allocated their current opioid funds for the current year. So, and what they would propose is that we basically look at that model for a 2-year period. So $50,000 for the 25-26, and then they would request an additional for the 26-27 academic year. So this is a 2-year pilot. again, kind of turn that over, see how you feel about it, and if we want to move ahead with that. The only thing is there is a bit of a time crunch. They're accepting applications for this fall's program, and so they'd like to have some certainty as to whether this is going to be available. So
I think it's a great opportunity for us to use those funds and the spirit which we need to use the funds. I just think it's a beautiful partnership, a great partnership.
Can we do a straw poll? It's not
you can
on the
discuss
agenda.
it. You can, as long as it's not an
I'm a
official
yay.
action. Yeah.
Well, if it's
Yeah, I'll be very supportive of it, yeah.
if it's a 2-year program, I would go back to the county commission and ask them to help out for the second year.
Yeah, I think that's certainly on the table.
Yeah, they
Absolutely.
that was Wesleyan,
And I'm
yeah.
surprised that they've allocated that money.
Well, that's secondhand. I don't know what the whole kind of story is with that. But the proposal from Wesleyan is based on just the city participating in this way.
Barring that, are you supportive of it, Dave?
Yes.
Well, and when they were here, I think all of us were very overwhelmingly supportive of working with them, so.
Okay, so what I'll suggest is, I don't know if the first or second meeting of July would work better for them, but one of those July meetings, we'll see about putting them on the agenda for kind of final approval of kind of this model, and we'll go from there. I think there's about $150,000 in that account currently, if I'm not mistaken.
But I think somebody from city council or the mayor or recorder should ask the county commission about the second year. I do think that's appropriate.
Well, I think it's appropriate for Wesleyan to ask them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, not us.
Yeah, they are. I think those I think those are kind of ongoing.
Everything's about timing, and so, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
so.
I may be mistaken, but last I checked when they were asked about how much they may have allocated it already, but it was about the same as what we had left as well. I just wanted to say two things. Given that the kids are, or the individuals are looking to be enrolled, we need to act sooner than later, and this, I think, getting a chunk of this money used is also very important.
Yes.
Let's get them on the early meeting,
point.
or if they can be here.
Yeah.
If they can have that.
Okay. Just FYI, if I'm going to need to participate now remotely in July. Okay. Just that shouldn't stop you. Two other matters I just want to update. There's no action to take here. I just want to inform the council of things that are going on. You're certainly aware of our saga with our zoning violation on College Avenue. That property owner has been cited, and that citation was heard in municipal court yesterday, and the individual was found guilty of the citation. So we're now determining whether she has 30 days to appeal to the circuit court, or if she's just going to move the thing finally. So we're continuing down that road, but there is an update. Finally, you may recall a couple of years ago there was an incident in the Buckhannon River where there was a spill following a heavy rainfall event up near Helvetia with the Carter Oak Coal Company and a slurry and a coal impoundment getting into the Buckhannon River. Several weeks ago, there was a permit application published in the Intermountain regarding that facility. Some new activity that's going on there. Through City Engineer Jay Hall and I worked together to file comments on that application to ensure that Carter Oak Coal Company will take all appropriate measures to prevent a similar incident from occurring again. Our comments are into DEP, and we will continue to monitor that progress. We are not, I want to be clear, we are not opposing the permit. We have no interest in opposing it. We file these comments because we want to make sure that these issues are appropriately addressed in the mines plans.
Good.
I'm happy to take any questions.
Send me an outline of the Wesleyan program for the minutes. I like to just say we discussed it. Thank you.
The first meeting in July is the 3rd.
That's right.
All right, thank you, sir.
next time.
Matt, you win the prize for the shortest report tonight from the directors.
I think the mayor's taking you to Derek.
Class for big spenders. Okay, we are down to council comments and announcements, and we'll begin over here with Scott.
I'd just like to take another moment to congratulate Kelly Arnold for the George Warren Fuller Award. I've known his brother pretty much all my life, and I've just gotten to know Kelly in the past year or so, and I wish I would have known him as long as well. He's a wonderful person, and he deserves it. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Pam?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Also, I'm going to invite people out to come and see community theaters. It's a Lion King's Kids play. They're going to do this Friday and Saturday. The faces for the animals and stuff are just terrific. So bring your kids and come and see that. It's going to be really good. Ella McNish is the director. She will do a great job.
Sounds good. Thanks, Pam. Jack?
All right. Chief Gregory, congratulations on Kalia. I'll be honest, looking at your report, I'm not a bit surprised. The professionalism that you demonstrate on a daily basis is on paper, and we appreciate that. Over the weekend, I had an opportunity to talk to a police officer about a situation that actually came to my house. And so I met Officer John Warner down at the police department. And of course, my shorts and dirty t-shirt and ball cap on, he had no idea who I was. But I will say this, John Warner treated me with such respect and such professionalism, I think it's worth mentioning. And then when I told him who I was, after we talked about 5 minutes, oh, Councilman Ritter. That had nothing to do with his demeanor. He was professional and just a tremendous representative of the police department. And I honestly believe that's worth noting. And congratulations to Kelly Arnold on his accomplishments, and that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Thomas?
I endorse what everybody said previously, and Kelly, I've known Kelly for quite a few years, and hope he has a great retirement along with his brother Jerry. And I think both the strawberry and the 117 barbecue bash were very successful for us, and y'all have a great weekend. And maybe this could be the shortest meeting we've ever had. I don't know.
No.
Getting close. I know Matt was the shortest report he's ever had, by far. Right, Matt?
I think so. That's what I'm told.
Let's get through here first, okay? Rob?
Congratulations to Kelly as well. Great accomplishment, great award. And I just wanted to thank the street department, police department, the organizers of the barbecue bash, everything, especially considering the situation that everyone had to deal with and reorganizing the entire map for where everyone was supposed to be set up. They kind of had to fly and see it. It's not an easy feat when everyone pulls in at the wrong time when they're not supposed to. So Ethan was good. Just another Jerry Arnold, which is good. Just held his cool and accommodated everyone as fast as he could, as well as he could. So thank you. Tell your guys thank you.
Thank you, sir. City Recorder's Report.
All right, thank you. So under report of events, correspondence, and information, we have the City of Buckhannon public hearing notice of July 3rd, 2025, 7 p.m. will be the reading of ordinance number 473, rezoning, and the public meeting. May 2025 report of cat dog activity from the Upshur County Commission is part of the packet tonight. Circle J Enterprises, LLC, DBA Jimbo's Place, has submitted a zoning form to the ABCA. We have a notice of Colonial Arts Center board meeting cancellation for July 1st, 2025. And as has been mentioned throughout the meeting, Kelly Arnold was honored with the prestigious George Warren Fuller Award. When we sent that out media-wise, it got a lot of reaction on social media. And I saw it in our local media, so appreciative that they were able to pay honor to Kelly Arnold. Really is a great award. for a deserving person. A few things about the event center, Brushy Fork, June 24th, 2025, we'll have the Central West Virginia Area or Aging Services Homemaker Training. And then July 12th through 27th is kind of a long summer drill for the West Virginia Army National Guard, so they're going to have everything tied up during those periods. August 15th, we have the St. Joseph's Hospital Rotary Blood Drive at the center. And I want to remind everybody that from August the 18th through September 30th, there will be no events at the event center because of the major paving project that will take place out there. Yeah, it's long overdue. They're going to reformat the parking area that is there that's already with concrete. They're going to do angle parking so the vehicles can maneuver much better. And everything else you see out there that's currently graveled all the way to the main highway will be paved. So once they finish up, and that pretty well should finish up that construction project out at the Armory. So looking forward to that. I did want to mention to the other council members, the mayor and I have talked about it. Andy and Lisa Lamb in our office and Jay Holland have worked on it, but I sent out a spreadsheet to council members earlier that show the current fire fees being paid by the commercial folks in our city, and a comparison as to some of the fees we discussed by switching from the gross revenue model to the square footage model. So check your email and check those columns out. We still have a lot of work to do on that, but that's something we really want to get our hands around. And another news release was sent out earlier today, so another congratulations to the Buckhannon Police Department. We sent out a press release concerning a multi-agency interdiction that's gotten some press coverage since last week. I got the release on Friday, so we did circulate that out today, Chief. So thanks for getting us that information. And that does it for me.
All right, thank you, sir. Dennis?
Mayor, about 25 years ago, I taped the shortest meeting here. Nancy Schrob was mayor, and that meeting went a few seconds over 12 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Just for your information.
That's what we got for you. That's what we got to be.
That's the goal now.
It was that short because they had a football game going up in Morgantown at the time.
Gotcha.
These people are on notice.
All right, I appreciate all of you accommodating tonight's meeting. Appreciate the short agenda as well. Thank you for what you do. Again, congratulations to Kelly. Certainly a wonderful accomplishment. Want to remind you, we do have an executive session on the agenda this evening to discuss legal matters. So if you would stick around for that, I'd appreciate it. Other than that, I entertain a motion that we adjourn.
Moved.
All right, 7:47.
He was on time.
Adjourn into executive session.
Yes.